Hey, everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. I am your host, DJ Christmas, and I have with me a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Eric Loomis, and currently playing Iron Man on Disney XD for the Avengers series.
Awesome, and I'm kind of curious, how did you get started into voicing Iron Man?
Well, that was kind of a weird thing. I was not a comic book fan. I'm sorry to say that. At the time, a little bit. I like Spider-Man, the basic stuff, but never got into comics. But I saw that Iron Man movie and I think I saw it 4 times on the big screen. And about 3 months later, an audition came through for the role of several roles. And I saw that Iron Man thing and I went, oh man, because everybody wants to be Tony Stark when you see that movie,
Right.
And I loved his swagger and his sarcasm and how wry he was. And I got the script, and there was no mention to the movie. There was no mention to, it was just Tony Stark is this billionaire, genius, blah, blah, blah. Nothing about anything else of the character. And I thought, well, again, a lot of times they want to match what was done in the film. Like for animated films, they do a series. If the actor's not doing it, they want to get as close as they can to the actor's sound and whatnot. And I thought, well, okay, it's not referencing that, but gosh, how can you, the movie's so popular, it's only 3 months old since it came out, they got to be looking for something similar to that. So I had 4 little short vignettes of just my lines, and the script was written that way. It was very Robert Downey Jr. And so I just got as dry and sarcastic as I could with the lines and played with them a little bit, and, did a little ad lib here and there, and that got me a call back, which led to booking the series, which was just exciting as all get out. My first real major series, and to be Tony Stark was just like, a hero with my kids, both of them, especially the at the time 15-year-old. He said, "What? You're kidding me? You're playing Iron Man?" And so that's how it started. And that was in 2008 that we started season 1 recording. 2009, Disney bought them and just started airing last October.
Well, those are words to live by. You channeled your inner Robert Downey Jr.
I did what I could. And that was exciting because it led to then voicing Iron Man 2, the video game. They asked me if I could do a sound like a Robert, and I said, well, we do sound similar, and I can character match is what I'm doing on the show. I'm not voice matching Robert, although a lot of, very nice fans have said, wow, what a great Robert Downey Jr. sound like. For the game I auditioned, and they liked what I did, and I just kind of, I'd played around with his impression a little bit, and they liked what I did, and so I booked the game, and he was available for the first game. He did the cutscenes, and another very good actor, I think Steven Stanton is his name, he did the in-suit action, and this time Robert wasn't available at all, so I guess they wanted one guy who could do it all, and I luckily got to do that, so that was exciting. And again, with kids, of course. Then my 8-year-old was thrilled because he could play the game and be me. So
That's always fun. Sometimes when I play games, I end up hearing the voice actors instead of them as the characters, so I tend to do that quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also kind of fun because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, it's also fun when you look at IMDb, it's Samuel L. Jackson, Eric Loomis, and Don Cheadle at the credit list. I'm like, that'll never happen again in my life. So I'll be, in between those two credit-wise, those two great actors, and so that was quite exciting as well when that finally popped up on IMDb. To see that credit list like that. So.
Definitely. And besides Iron Man, what other kind of things have you done?
I did mostly commercial work for a lot of years. There's a project I did in 2008 that I don't think I'm actually allowed to speak about still. It's a non-disclosure thing where I voice matched somebody for a film, and that was crazy. I did a game, I did another game, I did all this commercial work for the film as his character, and that's really prior to that, which was 2008. The first part of 2008, and then the end of 2008 is when I booked Iron Man. Prior to that, I'd done an episode of As Told by Ginger years ago. There's a series called Shin Shan where we were the original cast, and then it's been since recast, and it was a voice replacement for a Japanese series called Shin-Chan that was very popular over there, and I think it's airing somewhere on Cartoon Network, but it's no longer the original cast. So that really was my only real experience doing animation. I did a couple other little things, a couple games, and kept auditioning for it, whatever came down the pike. But I think one of the things that hurt me was I didn't have an animation demo. So I'd get a call back on something, and we'd be down to me and four of the guys, and they'd go, well, these guys, we know they can do all these other characters, and we know he can do this, but what else can he do? And when there's no animation demo to show that, they're not going to spend the time to bring me back in for a general and go, hey, what else can you do? So I think that kind of hurt me in the long run as far as getting those earlier bookings for animation. But now it's we've finished season 2 of The Avengers, and season 1 is airing, and it's really exciting. And hopefully there'll be more down the road. I keep auditioning for them at least. So.
And with a character like Iron Man, since he's always in the heavy armored suit with the mask, you don't necessarily have as many lip flaps to match as, say, the other guys.
Right, and that was one of the things that was fun. Is at least in the season 1, I was able to do some little ad libs. They said, please feel free to, add a little, if you feel a little sarcastic, needling towards Hawkeye or Cap, and there's something in there you can put in, go for it. And if it works, we'll keep it, because there's no lip flap. But it's so well written. My favorite scene in season 1, I can't remember which episode, but I get thrown, miles, and I land in this cornfield, and I create this crater, come out of this crater, and corn everywhere. My mask is still up. I asked Jarvis to give me a location, and as I'm reading the script, I'm going, oh man, I could say I was one of my own crop circle. I hate popcorn, something. But when you read the rest of the script, as soon as I ask Jarvis something, there's a tractor with a farmer riding by with this dead look on his face, like, what in the world? No lines. And I just look at him, and it's in the script, and I just say, waiting for my ride. And I went, there's nothing I can add to this. These guys write this so well. But there are times that I've been able to play with it, which I love. It's fun to channel my inner Robert Downey Jr. again and throw out some sarcasm.
It has freedom of movement, which I don't think you get too much with a lot of animation scripts.
No, you don't. You really don't. And in fact, even in auditioning, there are some companies that say, please have the actors stick to the script. We don't need to hear about them trying to be funny or cute. And that's the key, too, when you are doing it, when you are allowed to do it, is does it really match the character? Don't just be cute and funny to make them laugh. It's got to fit the character in the scene. And that's what I always try to be careful of. It's like, oh, that's a funny line. Yeah, but it's just a funny line. It's not necessarily fitting the scene, so I'll leave it out if that's the case.
Right. And since there are so many games with Iron Man, especially the new Marvel vs. Capcom 3, have you gotten the chance to play as yourself?
I did. I'm not real good at the games. My kids just poke fun at me because I'm just not that good at that. I tried Iron Man 2, the video game. I haven't got Marvel vs. Capcom yet, but I'm looking forward to getting that. And that one I could probably handle. And it would be exciting because I know they used Brian Bloom as Captain America and Chris Cox. They did Hawkeye in there. And most of our cast, the main cast, got to work on that as well. So it would be fun to play as them as well. Which I have to say is that's the other exciting part is who I've been able to work with, just on a voiceover level. Kevin Michael Richardson and, Fred Tatasciore and these guys that I've looked up to for a long time. I'm sitting in the same booth and pinching myself going, aren't they sure they hired the right guy? Because these guys are so talented. And then you have a day where you walk in and it's Kevin Michael Richardson and Mark Hamill comes in to do a character. And you're going, no, I cannot be here doing this, working with Mark Hamill. This, again, pinching myself. So that's exciting as well.
Yeah, I have those moments here sometimes where we'll be talking to a voice actor, and sometimes I'll just have to go, I'm really just talking to this guy about his regular day. He's not doing anything.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite actors of all time, and I don't know if a lot of people will remember him because he's been from my childhood. Dwight Schultz from the original A-Team.
Oh, yes.
Mad Dog Murdoch. The first episode of season 2, he came in and did a character. I'm just in awe of this guy when I was a kid. I'm like, gosh, this guy's such a great actor. All the different, he'd go into these different crazy characters, and so that was a thrill to, something from my childhood. And there I am, standing, 3 mics down from Dwight Schultz, and he was just brilliant actor.
You just have one of those surreal moments where you'd like to say something, you're just not sure what to say.
Yeah, you don't want to go, excuse me, and say something silly, and it's hard to be a voice actor and then step out and be a fan and not sound silly. So you try to keep it professional and, oh yeah, well, I love your work, stuff like that.
Yeah, we've talked to a few other voice actors who have had those moments. It's usually the newer ones, and they hear the ones that they've been listening to for so many years.
Yeah. Well, Steve Bloom came on in season 2 to do a character or two, and my word, again, just so talented what he can do. And the other thing about voiceover with these guys in animation, there's no, for the most part, there's no egos. They're all great people and supportive of each other and fans of each other. Most everybody I've worked with, and so that makes it even more of a pleasure. They're very supportive of me, and especially when I get a little, nervous in a room full of all these actors that I'm looking up to. You're doing fine. You just pick up the line. We'll do it again. So that's been nice to work with good people as well, not just people you're a fan of, but they're great people as well.
Another thing I've noticed in the voiceover world is that the further in you go, the more friends you make who are voice actors, and everybody just seems to know everyone else.
Yeah, that's true. You work on one project here, and then they know so and so from this project, and then, or you're at a studio where multiple projects are going on, and you run into people that you've worked with before, and yeah, it's not as small of a group as it was years ago. There's a lot of people doing it, but yeah, there's still that feeling of, old home week when you walk into a studio to do a session and they're doing another session, which doesn't happen a lot these days because so many people record separately, like in the commercial side of it at least. Going out to a casting director, we used to go out to the casting director and, everybody be there. All your peers. And then slowly that dwindled because of the strike that we had years ago, and everybody's recording from home or recording everything at your agency. So we don't see each other as much, but yeah, everybody knows everybody somehow, it seems.
Very cool. And I think we are going to take a very short commercial break, but don't go anywhere because we will still be here when we get back. So keep it tuned to your favorite station. 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.
Ever wonder what's going on in the anime world? Check out 918 The Fan every weekday for the newest iStock. We'll fill you in on everything you need to know in 3 minutes or less. Only on 918thefan.com.
Hey everybody, you're still tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. I'm still here, and so is my very special guest. I know he's there.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm here. And enjoying it very much.
I really must find a better way to transition that into coming back, because every time I do that, it's all silent. I'm like, I know you're there. I can hear you. Why don't you say anything? No one ever,
I didn't know if you were going to...
no one ever picks up on my
cues. Didn't know if you were going to reference my name or... This is my first time, too, so, I apologize for not catching the dead silence there and speaking up.
Oh, no, it's fine. What's important is that you're still here with us. We have had moments where we will do that, and all of a sudden we get a click, beep, 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 and I guess we'll go to another break. Yeah. But since you've been primarily working on Iron Man, do you have any other projects that you've been auditioning for lately that you're allowed to talk about?
I don't. No, actually, a lot of them have been do not talk about, top secret. Some games and things. I did have a thing at Disney, which would be great. Again, a project I can't speak about, but being with Disney, sort of with Marvel, I'm hoping that could open some doors with other stuff that Disney's got. I love, some of the things they do over there, Phineas and Ferb, and some of their other projects. Phineas and Ferb is actually at the top of my list. It's one of the best shows, I think, in years. So smart and fun that you can sit down with your little kid and not be, not get a cavity because it's so overly sweet and silly. It's very fun and smart. So
I get that feeling a lot too, especially with a lot of stuff that's on TV today. I'll just go flipping through channels. Phineas and Ferb has, it seems like, a level of higher intelligence, and that's why a lot of people want to get in on it.
Yeah. I remember they did a sequence where they were cutting into another scene, or maybe it was the opening, and it was a throwback to the Love Boat. Again, from when I was a little kid, very little kid. But the anchor coming up and the music was very similar to the Love Boat theme, and it was, the kids aren't going to get that, but we certainly are, and so it brings the parents in with the kids, and everybody can enjoy it, and I think that's a smart way to go. So many of them are just.
And you, as an actor with all the Marvel stuff, you can sort of slide across the spectrum into more Disney-related work.
I hope. The thing about the Iron Man role is it's just me. It's not any kind of. It's a character, but I have other characters and things that I do, and where I can hide behind, I guess you would say, like a lot of actors talk about. Hide behind the voice and have even more freedom, as opposed to doing a line and going, "Oh, I sounded horrible. Let me do that again for you." And they go, "No, it worked." And we're like, "Really?" Because you hear yourself so much, and so I'd love to get the roles that are a little more broad, I guess, and not some playful, cartoony, some bad guys, and we'll see where that goes. Hopefully that's coming up in the near future, with some other stuff down the road.
Well, we're all definitely pulling for you here. We'd love to hear you in more stuff, but it is pretty safe to assume that if any more Iron Man stuff comes up, you will probably be the guy they go for.
I hope so. It's been I've done several things with the Iron Man thing that I've just one thing comes up and another thing comes up and I'm just shocked. But we got to do it's an opening animated short that in Madame Tussauds in London, and got to work on that, and that was exciting. So my wife lived in London for a while, so she's thrilled, and so to have my voice all the way over there in London, and some involved with the Marvel thing over there, it's really exciting. And Marvel Capcom was a blast. The people who produced that were so much fun to work with, and a lot more action than Iron Man, a lot of fighting, and so came out of the booth, probably 5 pounds lighter, I hope, from all the sweating and from all the grunting and hitting and fighting stuff. So it's been a very fun ride doing this role.
Yeah, that's always one of the things with fighting games like that. All right, now die in 3 different ways, 5 different times.
Right. Die a little less this time. A bit bigger impact. Now you're writhing in pain, but okay, you're writhing too much now, But they need that. They need all different types in case it doesn't match, which is what we're doing on ADR for added dialogue replacement for season 2. When they go to match the picture, the line was actually a little too long for the lip flap, or the grunt wasn't as big of an impact, or it was too big. And so we go back in and they, play the footage, which is fun. You can see it finally come to life. And then you jump right in when it's time, and do a bigger grunt or a lesser grunt, and that's a lot of fun.
Right. And with, superheroes, there's always the need for that kind of thing since you're always in so many battles.
Right. Yeah, we always joke about, each week New York is getting torn to shreds, and in 1 week time they clean it up and build everything back up. It's great. It keeps rebounding from all the bad guys.
And speaking of torn to shreds, since you do so many fight noises, have you ever lost your voice in any instances?
No, working on the game, we did 3 days in a row, and on Friday, and in each day it was 4-hour sessions of dialogue, and it's just me. So there wasn't a lot of action stuff, but just from talking and from nonstop for 4 hours. By the time Friday came, at the end of Friday, they said, okay, now we'll pick up the fight stuff and we'll be done for the day, so you have the weekend to rest. And I said, I'm fine. When I got home Friday night, all of a sudden my voice was just dry and scratchy. I went, okay. I can't imagine doing 3 days of all the fighting like some guys do. It can get intense. But I've never actually, from voiceover, lost my voice completely.
Well, that's always good. I hear one of the key factors is to just keep your voice hydrated. Yeah.
I have my certain throat lozenge that I use all the time, and always keep the water nearby. And now, it's a funny story. I just ran into a guy. I met him for the first time in a session the other day, and we were talking about another actor who just booked this role. He wasn't there with this same director that we were working with. And he goes, oh, yeah. He says, well, so-and-so here, he does all of his fighting noises. Because the other actor's an on-camera actor and can't afford to possibly do all that fighting and have his voice go out and then be working on a film the next day and not be able to speak. So he has a stunt voice, come in and do all of his grunts and hits and all falling and everything you can imagine.
A stunt voice.
A stunt voice, which I don't know how we've all talked about that, because it can take it out of you. And if there's a lot of it, one person that I was working with said, there should be a niche for that, where you have people who do that specifically. They're the fight impact noise guys, and
professional stunt voices.
Exactly, yeah. Just for all the dying and writhing in pain stuff.
Well, it does make sense. I think I heard somebody say something like that maybe a year ago, and it's been a while since I heard it, but it would be a good way for lesser-known actors to get more work in the industry and, help them get their face out there.
Sure, yeah. And then if they're working on it, it's like, you know what, we got this newspaper guy. He's got one line. You do kind of like a New York or a Midwestern guy, say, hey, get your paper here or something like that. They might pick up a line doing that too, and that's then they show that they can do other stuff, and it can, exactly, get them out there and get them going, and please the producers and the directors say, wow, this guy, we brought him in just to do this, and he's actually got more stuff he can do. We should use him. So that'd be a good idea, I think.
Definitely. Somebody out there, if you're listening, definitely get on this. It's a good idea. But
some agent have his own little category, stunt voices only.
Yeah.
I know they did that for film years ago. They had women scream for other women, and they punched that in, after the film was made or whatever.
Of course. But now, as a comic book hero, there are a lot of conventions related to that. But when we were talking about behind the scenes, you said you hadn't gotten the chance to head out to one yet. Are there any that you're looking forward to check out?
I haven't heard of any yet. I mean, I'd love to. I haven't been invited, and to any specifically. There's no ill will there. I just haven't been. All my friends last year were like, "So you're going to Comic-Con?" Well, now it's just the producers and the Disney guys to introduce the show because it was starting in October, and so I don't know if we're going to go this year to Comic-Con in San Diego or not. But I'd definitely love to get down there and meet fans face to face and chat with them a little bit. That'd be great.
Check out all the people dressed up as Iron Man.
Yeah. I've had friends, wait till you go to Comic-Con. And I go, well, it's pretty packed. They go, no, you don't understand. you're the voice of Iron Man. You're going to have a lot of people like, oh, yeah, right. We'll see. They said, no, trust me, you get down there, they're going to want to meet the guy who does the voice of Iron Man for the show. And I'm like, well, I'm a very shy kind of guy typically, which is why I do voiceover. I can hide behind the camera and behind the mic. But again, I would definitely love to get down there and meet people who are supporting the show and enjoying it, especially the kids.
Definitely. That's one of the greatest reactions is you see the kids' reaction is like, Iron Man, Iron Man.
I was picking up my son, my 8-year-old, from his after-school care one day, and they said, oh, he's over in the computer room. So I went over to the computer room, and one of the high school helpers said, hey, I saw your stuff, and we were chatting back and forth. Didn't mention what it was, and all of a sudden this kid from the front of the class turns around and he goes, you sound like Iron Man. And I didn't know if he was talking about the film or what. I said, Iron Man? He goes, yeah, on the Avengers. I went, oh, the one on Disney XD? And he goes, yeah. I go, that's me. He goes, no way. He was just, you got to be kidding me. So that was really cool. Very,
a
very
bit of
cool to have
a grade school
that
hero.
excited, Yeah. So my kid, walks out of there, puffed chest, shoulders back, My dad's
Iron Man.
Yeah, that 5th grader won't push him around anymore. But so that's that. But it is neat to see the kids smile and they're like just so excited to see the voice or meet the person behind the thing. And that's all new to me, but it's very exciting. And I love seeing kids get that excited. So
That's what it's really all about is, pleasing the fans and making sure that they're all happy.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're so supportive,
And I do believe we are nearing the end of our interview here, but before we let you go, we just have one last thing. We would be wondering if you're willing to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Sure, whatever. Absolutely.
We ask everybody who comes on the show if they would be willing to do a radio bump for us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. And we just ask everyone to say, my name is, you insert your name. I do this. You can say that you're an actor or specifically Iron Man, whatever you want to do. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
91.8 The Fan.
Yep.
Okay, so my name, what I do, and then 91.8, you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Yep, and we do it live just in case there are any bloopers.
Okay. Bloopers are always fun.
Yes. So whenever you're ready.
All right. Hey there, my name is Eric Loomis. I'm Iron Man on Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and you are tuned into 91.8 The Fan. Avengers Assemble.
All right. You even put a little spin on it at the end. Those are my favorite.
Okay, good. Well, it was nice talking with you, Chris.
It was definitely nice talking with you, too. And for everybody out there, if you missed any part of this interview, shame on you, but it will be up on our website in the next couple days, so make sure that you keep it tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.